Mine is in my hand. It's gonna be a matter of time because someone calls it
Hello.
and say, "What's up? What's up? What's happening now?" How many days I have? Oh, it's dead, babe.
What's going on, good people? They go Laura Renee.
Oh, faithful Renee.
Yo,
Melinda
Corey, what's going
Anderson.
on, Corey?
Corey, what's going on?
Boy,
Lord
you cooking
Mason.
some of them chops. She been messing with our easy bake oven. That's what she been calling our oven, Corey. Easy bake.
It's an adult easy bake oven.
But she ate
But
them
I ain't gonna
wings,
front. Them
boy.
chicken wings was the bee's knees. Those chicken wings was the bee's knees. Erica, what's up? Shuna Pool is on here. There's Michelle in New Jersey. What's going on? How you doing? Where's your husband? Let him come on here. Sabrina, how you doing? God bless you.
I'm glad
Janetta,
you said that, baby.
what was you getting ready to say?
No, I'm glad you said that.
Say what?
Yeah. Get on here and get your husband with you.
Get your
Get your
boo.
wife with you. Turn
Whoever.
it up. Put it on the television.
You ain't got no.
Just let it play.
Let it ride,
Let
let
it
it ride, like Bonnie and Clyde.
Like
What's
Bonnie
going?
and Clyde.
Someone called us the born again Bonnie and
The
Clyde.
born
We love it.
again Bonnie and Clyde.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Timothy, what's going
The
on?
gospel
Where's
of
the
Jesus
wife?
Christ.
In Jesus' name. You who does who does that? That was whack. That was so whack.
Yes, that was corny.
That was so that was so whack. What is that?
I'm a little corny. You love me?
I do. That was one of your quirky
Do it. I need you to do it too. Why you gonna try to do yours like Charlie's Angel?
Because that's the way you do it, Charlie. You just said like you had that little pistol. Remember when Eddie Murphy had that little pistol? He's like, "Oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. This little pistol."
I'm still a fan of westerns.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
What's up, baby? What we gonna talk about today?
So we get ready to talk. Someone said, "Millie Rock, what's going on, Apostle Fred and Jamel G? So good to see you. Thank you, Rufus. How you doing? God bless you." Mother Cece said, "I love that."
Come on.
Easy bake. No,
She got her wings right.
I will say that the adult easy bake oven, what we're talking about, is
It's an air fryer, y'all. It's an air
the
fryer.
pressure cooker.
It's an air fryer.
What's the called?
And it's called an adult easy bake oven because I opened it first.
It's the
Had she opened it first, it would have just been an air fryer.
Yeah. So shout out to all of you who love the adult easy bake oven, Mother Cece, Corey, and my husband. God bless you all. How you doing? My husband Mark Johnson is corny too. He's too well. It's wonderful. God bless you all. We get ready to talk about some things, and everyone knows that Fred and I do a coupling series. And today's coupling series, we're going. That message Sunday was fire. Phyllis said that, didn't he preach?
Hey, Phyllis.
When I tell you, baby, you preach. You didn't preach. You just preached.
Glory to God.
I mean, when I tell you, you have to be really available for the Lord to use you like that. And so I say thank you for allowing yourself to be available for the Lord to use you like that.
Thank you for trusting me.
Of course. That's the inside thing. So here we go. So he really preached, and I thank God for the ministry that God is doing such an amazing thing concerning my husband and I. We are getting ready to go to the Word of God a little bit later tomorrow. Please be mindful. But we want to talk to you about something today. Even though that this is a series of coupling, everyone, whether you be a couple or not, can learn from what we're about to talk about.
Right.
Understand that my husband and I, we both have so many similarities until God crafted us together in a way that only He could. There is something that we have that we say amongst ourselves, and we're going to share it with you guys. Fred and I say this, that we have the keys to each other's heart and hawk.
Yeah.
You know what hawk is? A hawk-like sculpture of anger, you know.
Like from Avengers.
Right.
The Hulk. Yeah.
Right. You love the Avengers.
I love the Avengers.
He does. And so I always say that he has the keys to my heart and my hawk. He did God's Man on Deck Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. And last week he was talking about his temper, or
Yeah.
how he was in a situation where he lost it, and he said
Be
something.
angry, but sin not.
Right.
Yeah.
That he went a place that he hasn't been in a long time. And because we were in a certain situation, this person became very disrespectful. And his disrespect was towards me. What happened was, we were helping my daughter, or our daughter, move. And unfortunately, a young man was very rude, and he was going back and forth with me. Our daughter Dylan was with her and Fred were moving things out of the dorm, and unfortunately, my daughter FaceTime and heard me going in, and my daughter said immediately, Pops dropped the
Dolly.
the dolly and ran to where I was, and saw that there was a man being very, very disrespectful to his wife. And so as Fred began to speak about that, it allowed me to bring this to your attention, the part 2 of being angry but do not sin. You have to understand that whether you're in a relationship, or whether you're with a friend, or a friend who has a temper, or someone that is in a situation, cool heads have to prevail. Now I'm going to say this. I'm saying cool heads have to prevail because you must understand that in anything that you do, you have the power to help them ease the circumstance or calm down. And so what I said is, he has the keys to my heart and my hawk. I have the key to his hawk.
That's right.
He has the keys to my hawk, Hulk, which means that you've got to be mindful that the person you're with can explode based on the circumstances. Now, this is where it get good. Yes, we are. What happens is, if a person that you're involved with has a bit of a temper, or have been delivered from being explosive, you got to keep them calm, but you also have to be mindful that I can't put them in certain situations. And so if you are with someone and they are going through a certain situation, you can't allow it to escalate by jumping in, but you got to choose your battles. So what happened is we both were in a situation, and I began to say, wait, babe, hold on, and bring calm to the circumstances, because there was a man being very disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
As a protector, and as a provider, and as a husband, and as a dad, he was in protection mode. Most people find themselves getting in trouble, and most women, is because you have a protector. You can't put him in situation that will allow him to go off. And likewise, he can't either. However, what?
I'm just laughing because you're the same way.
But that's what I'm saying. You have the keys to my heart.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was like, if I had someone who was going in on my husband, because I am a female, I've got to stand up and choose the battles, because if you mess with me and mine, it's going to be a problem. So even though I did not put my husband in that situation, the situation chose me.
Right. So she found out.
Someone said, this happened to me today.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Ms. Cadwell said it happened to her today.
Yeah. So what my wife found out in that moment is, when this security guard was disrespecting her, like she said, our daughter called, and I didn't even see a FaceTime.
Right.
I just heard her voice. Mm-hmm. And I dropped everything and I ran from where I was into where they were. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, I couldn't see nothing but red. Okay. So, at that moment, I'm not apostle. I'm not pastor. I'm not any of that. Mm-hmm. I'm not man of God. I am all protector. Right. I am dad. I am husband. Mm-hmm. With a sword. And when I seen him, all I know is I heard a man that was being disrespectful, I thought, to my wife. And I began to go off. And like I was saying, it came from a place that I had not heard in over 20 years.
Gotcha.
Like I had not been that way, but at the same time, I was ready. I have no other way to say this. I was ready to go to jail.
Right.
If need be, to make sure that this man, first of all, not disrespect my wife, and definitely in no kind of way make no gestures that he was trying to in any kind of way come at her. Right. So she found out because she had not seen me at that level. She seen me angry before, but because we had a situation where I was coming out of the store and this guy kind of walked up on me and she saw that,
right,
but she didn't see that person, and she didn't know that person existed. And it's not like I'm crazy, because I'm not.
Right.
All it is if you touch, or if I feel like you're threatening my wife or my children in any kind of way, then something happens. And that's why we're talking about this tonight, because what she found out is I have to keep him calm. And the only way I can keep him calm is I got to be calm.
Right.
Because she has been used to defending herself.
Right. Now, that's something that I want to talk about, too. There are a lot of women who are on here, men, too. And you have to understand that, for me, I have never been in a situation where I had a protector. Understand that the reality of it all is I'm with a man and a husband that wants to protect me. And even though a lot of women want to be protected, the reality is a lot of husbands don't take that role serious. I think sometimes when you're with certain individuals and then you get married again and then you find yourself with a person who is a real man that says, no, I'm going to protect you. It makes you feel like, okay, well, why? Especially if you become, and I'm just going to give you my testimony. I've been the protector my whole life. I grew up in a household. My father was the abuser, and so I became the protector. And so I was protecting my mom, and there were times I had to protect the siblings, and there were times where I had to protect my sister at school, and likewise she did for me. So what do you do when God sends you a real protector? Someone that says, no, if someone offends you in any way, they're hurting me because we're bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And even though women want that, do you know how to handle that? Do you know how to handle a man that says, no, I'm going to protect you? Do you really know how to handle a man that says, no, don't you move, I got you? Do you allow, because you got to protect him, be like, yo, I'm going to go pick a fight anyway?
Right.
You can't say that. You can't say no, because hold on. I've seen women say, hold on. I'm going to get my husband.
Yeah.
You don't think about the type of husband you have, that he going to come for you. You have to understand you got the key to his heart. And if you don't want that hope to be displayed, you've got to learn how to use wisdom in the principal thing. Now, I'm going to say this. We're living in a pandemic, and we're living where COVID is driving people crazy.
Insane.
Everybody is it's a mad world. Everyone with 6 feet social distancing. You don't want to come close to you. People's tempers are on edge.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to have a job. You wait for unemployment. You wait for the stimulus package, whether we get it or not. You don't know if you're going to have a job. Jose, it's good to see you. You don't know if you're going to be employed, unemployed. The kids are angry. People are calling you with COVID issues. You don't know. And everybody's like, ah!
Yeah.
So tension is very high. We're saying this to bring this to your attention. That tension now is very, very high. It's right, babe. It's so sensitive until if you say the wrong thing. Not only that, racial tension.
Yeah.
It's on an all-time
Racial tension
high.
is high.
So what do you do when you're married to a black man? Everybody want to ride the bull, right, Fred?
That's what I said.
And that's what he says. So what do you do when racial tension is high? COVID's got everybody paranoid, and you're married to a protector. Hey, Brittany. And you're married to someone that says, no, I want to protect you. You have to use wisdom, because you have the key. You're supposed to have the key to each other's heart. A young lady, Miss Cadwell, just went up the timeline, and she said something very true. I have a sister who's a social worker, and she shared the same thing with me. You have to understand that domestic violence is in an all-time high. Now, what happens when you're in a situation of domestic violence and you have a brother who has a hawk-like disposition? What do you do? That's important too.
That is good. That's good, baby.
Now, what do you do?
That's good.
And women don't understand, when you're involved with someone in domestic violence, you're not the only one. You're not the only one that's in that relationship. You can call your brother, you can call your father, you can call a friend that will go in a raging fit simply because you don't have the ability
that's right, to defend
walk
yourself.
away or defend yourself.
That's
Am
right.
I correct?
That's right. And in a lot of those cases, and if it's a woman that if you call your brother,
Yeah.
you already know what he gonna do when he get there. It's not the sad part about, for me, it's not the sad part about the brother coming to defend the sister. It's the sad part to me when the brother comes to defend the sister and goes to jail, and the sister goes right back with the guy that he came to defend her from.
Right. Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
And the thing that we're saying is, if you gonna call a person, you gotta, now she has to protect me. What she found out is, oh, I gotta watch how I call him.
Right.
Because if I call him and it's escalated, because this is what she was saying when she says that when everybody wants to ride the bull. We was talking one day because we was talking about going to a protest. And I let her know that, she was ready to go protest. And I said, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I say, what could happen? Not what's going to happen, what could happen. You could be protesting.
Right.
I could be next to you. They're going to overlook you and they're going to come to me because I'm a black man that wears over 200 something pounds. And what they're going to do is they're going to come and try to charge me because they feel like they're going to feel like that they have to bring me down.
Right.
More than anybody else. And it's the same thing when you're talking about your husband. When you call your husband in a situation like that, when something is going on, you got to know what you're doing because right now it could escalate this anything. We had a situation happen today, right?
Yeah. And it was the same thing. We was at the gas station and the guy Fred was saying, look, I need to use the gas tank. I mean, the air.
Yeah.
And there was a truck blocking it. And he said, listen, he was like, I'm going to, I like to pump the air. The guy, very nice. He said, sorry, brother. He backed his truck up. The minute the guy backed his truck up, another guy, unfortunately, I got to say what it is. It is. He was white. He pulled right up in front of Fred. He was like, I've been waiting for that. And I was like, and me being who I am, I got out of the car and I just stood there.
And I kept saying, baby, don't get out of the car.
He said, don't get out of the car. And I stood there. And I stood there just to stay and watch.
She didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything. I just stood watch.
Yeah.
And Fred said, listen, I asked the guy to move. He said, not only will I pay for air for my tires, Fred said, I'll pay for air for yours. He says, no, I'll pay for air. What about paying for your tires? I'll pay for your tires. And I was like, man.
Yeah.
And I thank God that he drove away, but he was becoming very cantankerous and stressed.
Yeah.
He wanted to start something. So during this pandemic, people want to start with you, especially, I have to say it. Statistics are high with racism and racial situations. What do you do? What's up, Tanisha Johnson? What do you do when you're with a husband or a brother, a black man, and tensions are high? Let's not, she said it, she went at the timeline. You already mad. You get to a place, you get ready to open the door, and they tell you, no mask, no entry. You got to run back all the way to the car to get your mask, run all the way back. You're vexed, you're angry, you're upset. And so what do you do when you're with someone? You're like, got to go get my mask. You're frustrated. Tensions are very high.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the key to each other's calm. You got to be the calm for the storm at all times.
Yeah.
Even your kids.
Yeah.
Even your kids. You've got to be the calm for the storm, even for your friends. If you got a hot temper friend, this is not the time for him or her to go off.
I think the thing that happened today is when this thing happened to us this morning, and I was trying to get air, and I like she said, I asked the guy to move. The guy moved out the way. I pulled my car, but the other guy comes to say, well, I've been waiting such and such and all are going on, but I was calm, and I was calm because I learned from our last situation that if I go off, my wife going off. Like,
pretty much.
I can really say, don't say nothing to this, that, or the other. But if she sees me, she's gonna feel like that I gotta help. And before I knew it, she was standing on the outside of the car. So what we found out, and the reason why we're sharing this, is that we have to be calm for one another.
Right.
Because if she loses it, it won't be long.
Right.
till I escalate.
Right.
And vice versa.
Yeah, and
Go ahead,
that's why
baby.
you got to have that balance because, even though I'm the watch woman on the wall for my husband, he's a watchman on the wall for his wife and us as the family as a whole. But you have to understand you've got to have the key to each other's heart. A young lady just went up the timeline and she says, what happens if you're in a domestic violence marriage and your son, now this is a,
Ooh, she opened up one.
well, she opened it up.
Well, let me tell you like this. Let me tell you from experience. What's happening to your son? What's happening to your son could be two things. Either your son could be like I was. I didn't become a person that laid my hands on a woman. But my temper, I was a very violent man in my in my years as a teenager all the way up to, 26 years old. I was violent, and I was violent for no reason. I would never hit a woman. I ain't got that kind of rapport. But a dude and people didn't stand a chance, and I got whooped like everybody else, but I would always keep coming. It was always bad.
Right.
And what's happening to your son right now, if your son has in any way saw you get abused, what is happening to him is that violence is going to transmit to him two ways. Either he going to be violent against another woman or he going to be violent against the world. So it's a situation that I would tell you need to get yourself out of because it ain't going to be good. And I don't care if he's a little boy because I started seeing it when I was 11 years old, something like that. And it transmitted to me different. I made sure that when it came to I seen it happen. My mother, now, one thing about my mother, she going up the timeline now, is she was a fighter.
Yeah.
You understand me? She was a fighter. But at the same time, I didn't appreciate from that point a man at any kind of way touching a woman. And it did something to me. And it made me violent. And the same thing happening with your son right now.
Vivian just went up the timeline and she said, hello, Bahamas. Vivian just went up the timeline and she says, I don't believe that children should be involved in marital issues, period. Yeah. Vivian, that's easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
Because I grew up in a household where my father was violent.
Yeah.
And so that's easier said than done.
You can't put them out the house.
You can't. What do you do when your husband and your wife, you guys are fighting and your children hear it? I'm going to tell you the truth. At plenty of nights, I pulled out a bed on my dad because I would wake up or come into a room where I would see blood. I would come into the room where my mother would have to be, unfortunately, I got to be transparent and God has ordained me for it. I would come in the room and my mother had a job. She had a job. Her job was to take off my father's shoes. We all had to do it. And one day she was taking off my dad's shoes. My father wore size 14. And she bent down to take off his shoes and he kicked in the chin. So what do you do when blood splatters on you? You're a kid and you see this. What do you do? Let me ask you a question. Do you say, don't get involved with your mom and your dad's issues? As a child, a parent that you love, both of them, unfortunately, you have to say they're going to come to the aid. That's why I say, don't let a child pay for your being in love. It's not right. You put your children in a position that they were not designed to carry. It takes away their childhood. It takes their right away to love each one of you equally. And it causes your children to either mirror or become very aggressive because
they become the abuser or the
they've
abused.
seen it.
Yeah.
So you've got to understand you can't be in love that much until you sacrifice your own children for your heart. It's better to break their heart and save their life than to continue being in a situation of domestic violence. And unfortunately, they will have to pay that price. And ultimately, someone's going to get hurt. Someone is crying right now. But
and closing, you being in the room with the husband and y'all closing the door. As a child, I remember the sounds.
Okay.
You remember the sounds. You remember all the ruckus. It still do something to you. So there's no way that a child can be inside a house,
right,
and not be affected by it.
Right.
So yeah, children are involved, whether it is right in the action of it or not.
Right.
The children are involved.
Right. I'm gonna say this, but I'm not gonna say her name. But she just went up the timeline. I'm not gonna mention her name, but a young lady went up the timeline, and she said, "Right now, I'm dealing with this right now with my son." You have to understand your child. Everybody has a hawk inside of them. Everybody.
Some kind of way.
Everyone has a hawk inside of them. The heart can be triggered and the heart can be controlled. You have to understand that someone has to be the calm for the heart. I am his calm. He is my
She is
calm.
my calm. That's
However,
right.
let's talk about your children having hawk-like dispositions. You will allow your child to defend you. And I'm going to say this, and this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. But at this point, I've got to help you. You're going to help your child become traumatic in their thought process. That's one. But what you're also going to do is you're going to put your son in a situation, unfortunately, he might go to jail.
Yeah.
That's one. So you're looking at jail. You're looking at trauma. You're looking at him growing up. And unfortunately, I've got to say this, he may not respect you because he would ask, why did you take my childhood away? Because you were in love. He will look at you because he now is your defender. And you could possibly risk losing your child to violence, whether it be violent from the hand of the dad,
Yeah,
or protecting you.
or violence in the street, just because that's what he or she learned.
Wait a minute. And I'm going to say this hard thing to you. And then your son defends you. And then y'all go back to bed. Your son defends you. And then y'all are in love tomorrow.
Again. Ooh.
Your son defends you. And he's hurting. But then you're getting your back knocked out in about an hour or so later. Do you think that's fair to your child? I don't think so.
Wow.
Think about it.
Wow.
Your son wakes up and he defends you. And then your son is mad and he's huffing and he's puffing and he's hurting and he's crying because I just want to defend my mother. And then y'all go about an hour or two later and y'all rolling in hay. It's not fair. I am telling you, I am a child. I'm a product of that. It wasn't fair. I didn't understand. But I do know that because of my childhood, there was some trauma that I dealt with. And I openly say that. To God be the glory, him crucified. But this is what I became. I said, I'm not going to be like my mother. I ain't take nothing. I'm not taking nothing. And so it's toxic. So you also are teaching your children how to love because they learn how to love through you. So what you're saying is this is okay.
It's almost a PTSD that you learn, that you get right from your home.
Yeah.
And then you go out in the world. Sometimes, we're kidding and something happened outside. She said, hey, I heard this noise. And because of all the stuff that happened to me when I was young, you know what I'm saying? And when I say happened to me, not necessarily happened to me, and the violence and the stuff that I went through, I have a type of mindset that when certain things happen, I automatically go into mode. So it's almost a PTSD that you develop from being in these situations. So a child shouldn't be in that.
Yeah.
A son shouldn't be in that. A daughter shouldn't be in that. And you're right. It is definitely unfair. And yeah, you need to get out of that.
Yeah. And it's not right because your son, if that is the only man in his life, I don't care if he's biological dad or not, you're risking your son's happiness. You're risking his life. There are children there are boys right now locked up because they were defending someone in domestic violence.
Ooh, for years.
Yeah.
For years. Life is gone.
Yeah, go and click tag and share. Their whole life is gone.
Their life is gone.
And you're out probably still in love and involved with the person they went to jail for.
Yeah.
That's why the state now gets involved because domestic violence has a face. I never will forget when we found letters when my mom passed away. We found letters that she had written, how she was trying to get out. She was trying to call the social workers. She was recording everything, but she never left. The only way my mother left is when she had a massive heart attack and she passed away. And so the choice is yours. If we're talking to someone and you're in this situation and you came up the timeline, someone said, I saw my brother stabbed defending his mother. So you mean to tell me if this is the person that you love is worth losing someone you love? It's a sick, twisted dichotomy that I don't and I would never understand. And that's why I'm glad the state gets involved now. Because domestic violence has a face now.
Yeah.
And the face is changing. And so I'm saying the hawk that's in your son, you, mommy, can be the calm. The hawk that's in your daughter, you, parents, can be the calm to your children's hawk based upon the environment you choose to keep them in. And that's real talk.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't expect to go that direction.
Well,
did it, baby?
they put it up the timeline,
But
we had to address it.
But it was something that was needed to be said.
Yeah.
And like we're saying, you know, from that husband and that wife, that fiance, or you that is building something, you are in control of what happens. You are his calm. She is your calm.
Right.
And if you allow it to escalate, and like my wife said earlier, and I really heard this, you know, you can't just go say, I'm going to go get my husband or I'm going to go get my, you know, and bring them into a situation that you know, you really don't know how the situation going to end. It would have been another thing. When she saw me, her calm, she was like, whoa, she went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had she gone up,
yeah,
I'd have went behind the counter.
Yeah, and it would have escalated.
I would have went behind the counter.
Right, because you know, and then he had like a teardrop on his eye, and he was, you know,
yeah, he had this old supposedly gangster stuff,
right,
and that really pissed me off because I wanted to, you know, but. Sorry.
I got you. It's, I mean, this is real talk.
Sorry, baby.
It's just like when the phone call came, I was going in, I was like, da, 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 da. But then when my husband came in, I immediately, shh.
Yeah.
Because I knew I did not want the situation escalated. I did not want the cops to come and deal with my black husband. And I knew good and well that I wanted to go home and finally get out of this. And so I had to get the key to his calm and calm his heart.
And she was able to bring me down.
Yeah.
She was able to bring me down. Now, and it wasn't easy. This is why we talking about this.
Right.
Because I don't want y'all to make you think that this was an easy situation.
Right.
It took a lot to calm me because I heard a man disrespecting my wife.
Right.
So it was a lot. It took a lot. And she had to literally tell me to go out the building. But even when I went out the building, I was still pacing like a bulldog because in my mind, I called him everything that I could call him because I just needed him to charge. But he wouldn't come.
Oh.
You know. So what, baby?
The girl just went up the timeline. She said, I just went through this with someone, and she paid a $5,000 bond to get him out, and they're back together. Gosh. That's why the state steps in. The state steps in because women, specifically women, because men get abused too. Men get abused too. Men get abused too. But in a situation when it comes down to women, they go right back. And the state has to step in because it's this don't, I don't care if you judge me. We don't. I remember this documentary that I watched, Pimps Up, Hoes Down. I think everybody needs to watch that. And I never will forget, I said, why do you have me watching this, God? Why do you want me to watch it? He said, because I want you to pay attention to the mind. Fillmore Slim said something so profound. He said, if you get the mind, the body becomes easy. And so I said, okay, God, now I get why you want me to watch this. He says, I need you to pay attention to the mind. Because the mind is such a, it can be, if someone can control your mind, you won't get out. If they can control your mind, you'll feel helpless, hopeless, and and that's where it is. It's the mind. And so with domestic violence, a person can control every thought process of you until they'll get you to feel that you can't live without them.
That's right.
You can't live. That's
right.
And so in a case like the woman that you went up the timeline, you get so intense. Lord, I got to use that word.
There you go.
Y'all need to click, tag, and share. We're going to get deep. Here we go, Jada. Here we go, Will. You can get so entangled psychologically in an unhealthy circle until you don't know how to get out.
You don't know how to get out.
And it's so manipulative until they prey on the weakness that they see in you and manipulate you, and you think that you cannot live without them. And so they will beat you and you'll go back. And it's just what Fillmore Slim. If they can control your mind, the body will become easy. You pay a $5,000 bond to get somebody out. They out and they go right back to them. You better get your money back.
You know what's funny about that? I've seen not you, because the women ain't usually weak. So you see, in our mind, we thinking about somebody that's weak. No. I've seen strong women be dominated in a way that person can take their mind.
Okay.
You can literally see that the woman probably is strong enough to beat the brakes off this dude, but because he has her mind.
Yeah.
When he does jump on her, she folds up and doesn't fight for herself because he has her mind.
This young lady said it's a grooming process, and it is. You have to understand that we're talking about temper. We're talking about hawk, calming the hawk. You got to understand that it's a grooming process. It happens over the course of time. At Unity Church, we did something about the sex traffickers and how they prey on young women and men. And it's a process. They find out your history. They find out your weak areas, and they make you feel that that's the area they can help you in, all to manipulate you and to control you. And so you have to understand, when you're being controlled, you know that you are, because it's a pattern that the person you used to be, you no longer are that person. You shift from who you used to be, not for the better, but for the worse. A person, gaslighting, exactly. A person is supposed to make you better. You're supposed to look better with the right person, not worse.
Not worse.
That's the telltale sign.
Yeah.
When you look worse. And so it's gaslighting. It's a grooming. It's over the course of time, the process. All you got to do is look at a person's behavior and watch them change, because that person has infiltrated their mind and they are no longer any good to themselves or the people around them.
Well, it was somebody that came up the timeline, and the young lady said that her husband allowed her to argue with somebody at a tire shop. He didn't protect her.
Wow.
I'll say this, and I want to say this in the best way possible. That shouldn't happen. I wouldn't want to be in a situation where, for me, I would feel like a coward if I'm sitting watching my wife argue with anybody. I gotta jump in there. No matter what I feel could happen, I gotta jump in that situation. So I don't know why. Because I don't know the circumstances. I seen it go up the timeline.
Right.
But it shouldn't happen like that. Again, you should be his calm and he should be your calm.
Well, Dylan, remember when she went? Our daughter went out, and she said that she was at a club or party, college kids, and this guy was calling her all kind of B's and whatever. And she said she was bothered. She left the party. She's fine, but she said what bothered her was there were other men around that didn't say one thing. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you feel that the protective role is a thing of the past in society? I'm not talking about you, Clyde. I'm talking about the women that just went up the timeline. She said she was at a tire shop and a man didn't protect her. Do you find it? I know I was in a relationship one time and my door fell open and he was like, get up, go downstairs, somebody in the house. And I went downstairs because I was, he just was. I mean, that's my story. I'm going to be transparent. But there are women that's going up the timeline. One young lady said, how do I find a protector? How do I notice those signs? Do you feel like today the protector is a thing of the past, that women have become the protector in the relationship?
I don't think that it's a thing of the past.
Ooh, someone said cowards.
I think the level of love that a person has for somebody it brings them to a position to say whether I'm going to be your protector or not. So the level of love you have for a person, that's how they choose that. I don't think the protector is gone.
Okay.
I think if a person is not protecting you like that, they may be cowardly.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
They may not be fighters, because you got some men that are not fighters. I don't know what to say about that. But as far as protectors being, no, the protectors are they're yeah.
So you feel that it's how, if you love that person, if the love is there to protect it, because that's really, you have to love the person enough for. But okay. So let's say this: what happens, in the street, and you see someone that's being taken advantage of, and you stand up and you become that good Samaritan. So it's in all of us to do that. So so are you saying you choose who you want to protect?
I mean, yeah. Now, if you're talking about a situation outside of my wife,
Okay.
and you're talking about being a good Samaritan in somebody else's situation, I gotta be wise in how I go in to try to bring and because I could inadvertently hurt myself or get hurt or hurt somebody else and go to jail potentially because I'm being a good Samaritan. So in that, no, the protector is still alive, but I got to be wise when it comes to other people. For you, it's all in.
Okay.
Whatever happened.
All right. So that's why I have to be very mindful of that, and likewise you of me. I'm just repeating what went up the timeline. These are not my words. I'm reading a comment. A woman just went up the timeline, or a person. I'm just going to read it. She said, I believe that's what's wrong with a lot of black men. They fail to protect their queen. Now, that was her comment. I'm good. We good. But this is what she said. Do you feel that our brothers fail to protect us as black women?
Man, that's hard. I mean,
you're talking about statistical studies.
And I can't go to a statistical study. All I know is, for me, for the sons that I raised, if you were to insult my son's wife, fiance, you're going to have to be ready to get it. So I don't think that it's gone.
Okay.
But I do think that a lot of chivalry, is that the right word? Chivalry? Chivalry is dead.
Okay.
The protection of a woman, a lot of it is dead. A lot of men don't. But you talking about your queen, that's a coward.
Okay, so what?
I'm trying to be.
Okay, wait.
I'm trying to use the right words,
no,
baby.
okay.
I'm just saying, I don't.
Okay, so let's get a little twisted, and I want y'all to click, tag, and share, because I'm gonna throw a twist in there, because you know me, I'm a thinker. I'm gonna throw a curveball in there. What happens when a man is in the house and he's not protecting his own wife or the person he's in a relationship in the house? In the house, she's stupid, she's fat, she's ugly, she's all of these derogatory words.
Chivalry. There you go, Laura.
So, yeah, she's all these derogatory words. If he can't protect her in the house, he can't protect her outside.
That's so good.
If he and it's true. If he can't protect her in the house, he can't protect her at home.
I wouldn't expect a man that would call his wife all kind of B's and H's and fat this and ugly that and all of that. I wouldn't expect that type of man to really be one that's going to defend his wife, because he already a coward.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying what I'm saying. You might not like it, but it's something wrong. It's something wrong when you destroy what you say you love. Because in a lot of those cases, not all cases, but in a lot of those cases, most of those type men, they ain't ready to fight another man. They'll fight a woman, but they won't fight a man.
Okay. Another woman.
It's getting heated, ain't it?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's getting heated.
Okay, one woman went up the timeline. She said she's been married for 4 years. And she told her husband, you do not protect me. Okay, so I have a question. It's very imperative that women understand
what protection is.
What protection is.
What protection is. You got to understand what protection is.
So I've got to ask you, as a husband, I understand the whole Hulk-like thing.
Okay.
Because we about it.
Yeah.
We that. All
Bam.
right. So I'm asking you, as a black man and as a husband, how do women identify a protector? It doesn't mean that he got a bob and weave.
Come on now.
I'm saying he has to protect the family in more ways than bobbing and weaving.
That's right. He's
He's
also
got to
protected
know
with
how
the
to,
wisdom.
right. How do they identify that?
Because now, for some reason, some of us can be called and protecting, acting out every time you do something stupid.
Okay.
Or you say something stupid, or you escalate or start something. You know, and I'm not saying that for the person that put that up there. I'm saying that we have to be able to identify what protection is.
Okay.
Because now, if we're making everything that we do, somebody I'm supposed to jump out because you acting crazy, that's not protection. I got to protect you from yourself because you're gonna mess around and get in trouble. You
Get
understand?
us killed, right?
So,
right.
so me as a husband, also protection comes with the wisdom of seeing the Hulk getting ready to come up and saying, "Hey, let's move.
Okay.
Hey, let's stop.
Okay.
Let's go ahead on," because the wisdom comes in and also protecting her, and I can hear it because I know when she finna get aggravated. I can hear it. I can hear it before it happened. So protection ain't always me acting stupid or me coming out of my regular confines of my personality. Protection is sometimes is me stirring her in the right direction.
Wow.
Or she's stirring me in the right direction. We
good.
got to identify what protection is.
That's good.
Protection ain't all the time because some people don't know how to know how not to have a heated conversation with somebody. You know, so we got to identify. You got to identify what protection is. Now, if you feel like a man is going off on you or have said something derogatory to you and he ain't done nothing about it, that's a problem.
Right.
If a man was to call my wife a B in any kind of way and he in my presence, I don't know what's getting ready to happen.
Right.
Probably there's going to be lawyers involved.
Right.
But that's a different mode. So we have to identify what protection is. My main job is to keep us out of all of those situations. That's my main job. But it's just not to say it's going to go like that all the time.
Jared, I believe his name is Jared. He came with the timeline, and he said a man should protect his wife, period. Protection could also mean against your family.
Yeah.
Protection could mean against the parents. Protection could mean even the kids.
Yeah.
What happens when your kids are being disrespectful or your kids are being, I know parents that get into fights with their kids.
Yeah.
And so protection can come in so many different avenues. The right thing is that you've got to allow a person the access to exercise wisdom to make sure cool heads prevail and
In
you
all
guys are always
situations.
protected in all situations. It's so... What? My mother was bad at right. Okay. It's so many people going up the timeline with this topic. It's crazy. I think protection, I think it really has, I have to say, women's lib. That caused a lot.
It did.
It did. We have to just say that. Let's be
It did.
right. Women's live help. And I think a lot of men say, look,
Hurt.
if they want to, be equal, then let them be equal. And then you have, and a lot of people, please, click, tag, and share. Don't get mad at me for saying this. I'm just going to state you facts. Because remember, we deal with people all over the world. All over the world. I know that I was in a situation years ago, and I was in New York. And I saw this couple, and they were going at it, and they were fighting or whatever. And a guy walked by, and the guy said, "I hope you whoop her, blankety blank blank." But unfortunately, it was someone in the same sex. And we had a dialogue. And I said, "Well, why would you say that?" And then his response was, "Well, I know him. I know that couple. He don't want her anyway because he was dating somebody last week and it was another guy." I think with all that is going on with women's lib, I think that people have alternative lifestyles. You're not going to, even though you're a man and you're in an alternative lifestyle, some of them feel like, look, me and her are on the same playing field. Let them, it's just weird. It's like, what do you do? And then you have women who are kind of hard She's like, nah, I fight him like a dude because I want his girl. It's just so crazy out
It's
here.
crazy out here.
Until you don't know what to identify. You don't know how to chivalry ain't dead, but
Well,
it's out there somewhere.
I'm gonna say this.
What do you do?
I'm gonna say this.
What do you do?
And y'all might not like it.
Oh gosh, here we go. I know.
But if a woman
I stirred the pot.
act like a man, looking like a man, acting like a man, and coming at my wife, I'm gonna knock her down.
Fred, you can't do that. It's still a female. I correct her.
Listen.
No, I check that. I check that.
You'll try to check it.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that there are some spirits that they're actually they're men. You know some of them, you've seen them. You ain't crazy.
But Fred, it's still a female.
So
you saying if you won't come at me like a dude, then just, is that what you saying?
I'm sorry.
Why? Don't laugh at don't laugh at Fred. No, don't laugh.
If you come at me
don't
like
laugh at
if
Fred.
you come at me like a man.
Fred, they're laughing about Fred.
You come at me like a man.
Someone
and you
said,
don't take
get it,
yourself
Fred.
off and all of that there, and you a man, and you got all your shoulders and all that out, and you look.
So let me ask you a question. So what happens if I get into it with a drag queen? So I'm gonna fight a drag queen.
No, I'm gonna tear that tail up too.
Oh God, and Fred, take the S off your chest.
It's not an S.
I mean, I'm saying you gotta look at.
And I'm not even saying something new.
No, I'm not. Why are y'all? Stop laughing.
I've been like this.
No, Fred, I'm not saying that you haven't, but I'm saying it's a whole new world out here. A whole new world.
There's a whole new world out here, and I gotta protect.
But we're talking about keeping the hawk-like disposition. Like I got the key to your hawk.
Okay.
So we got to use wisdom even in that.
That means you got to keep me calm, because if that bulldog try to hit you,
oh God.
I'm sorry. There's a new world after all.
It's so. You can watch Angry Birds too.
I'm not an angry bird. I'm a very calm man. I love my wife.
I love my husband too, but
I'm just, there's some things that God is yet still working on me.
Okay, amen. All right, we're going to log off on that note. We're going to log off on that note.
Keep your hands to yourself. Leave me and mine alone. And we all going to be friends. On this coupling. Nobody uses that word anymore, Fred. I'm sorry. It's bad. That's very bad, and it's offensive. And listen, seriously, I apologize. I do.
He's from the old school.
But I am from the South, and we use that word in the South a lot. We don't use lesbian. We use the other word. Sorry.
It's time to go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You don't get us killed.
I'm just
I
saying.
fight every night to prove my love. we gotta go.
I am really trying to get better.
Someone said, try Jesus, don't try Fred. Whew. All right, we gotta go. On that note, Corey, get ready.
Corey, you got to protect me.
Monique, be on deck. So, because I know my husband feels this way, I've got to use wisdom with all walks of life.
And I got to use wisdom when it comes to my wife, because there is still a lot of Brooklyn in here.
Yes, sir.
It's and it can come. And she's not the one that does the windmill. She's the one that she fights like Tyson. So we both have to walk in a wisdom and a calmness. And she has the key to my heart
and
my hawk.
All right.
We
Everybody
love you
stay out of
guys.
trouble until our next coupling series. Go to your corner.
These things say N-word.
We're working on
We
that.
doing good.
Somebody need to give us a reality show already. Because it would be very interesting. I'm going to put a GoPro to his head. Go to your room. Go to your room.
I gotta eat my chicken first.
That chicken burnt, but we going to eat that chicken.
Hey, Mama.
Mother, I burned that chicken. Go get a piece and let me see it. I burned. Maybe I should have used your adult easy bake oven. Go get a piece. Let me. Are you embarrassed?
No, I ain't
That chicken
embarrassed.
black as Fred.
And I'm going.
But we gonna eat that chicken.
Yes, sir.
We should have used the adult easy bake oven. We gotta go.
We love y'all. Bye.
Go get us killed.